Hello friends, and welcome back to another video. Breaking news with the CDC, or the Center of Disease Control, making an announcement that there is a no-sail order for all cruise lines in the United States. I'm Alanna Zingano from Travel the World from A to Z, and we're going to get into all the news on what this means for the cruise lines and your cruises. As of April 9th, earlier today, the CDC ceased operation of cruise ships in waters in which the United States may exert their jurisdiction and requires that they develop a comprehensive, detailed operational plan that is approved by the CDC and the United States Coast Guard to address the COVID-19 pandemic through maritime-focused solutions and including a fully implementable response plan with limited reliance on state, local, and federal government support. These plans would help prevent, mitigate, and respond to the spread of COVID-19 by the monitoring of passengers and crew for medical screenings and the training of crew on COVID-19 prevention, managing and responding to an outbreak on board, and submitting a plan to the U.S. Coast Guard and the CDC for review. So this order shall continue in operation until the earliest of three possible situations. First being the expiration of the Secretary of Health and Human Services declaration that COVID-19 constitutes a public health emergency. Second, the CDC director rescinds or modifies the order based on public health or other considerations. Third, and the final, is 100 days from the date of publication in the Federal Register. Wow, 100 days from now, we're looking into the summer for when we can possibly cruise again with all of these restrictions. It's a lot to take in with all this breaking news. What are your thoughts thus far? The order also includes other health protocols and guidelines that they must follow by the CDC, and that cruise ship operators are not allowed to disembark crew or guests. Now you may be saying, Alanna, why are we worried about passengers disembarking from a cruise ship? Well, turns out that there's actually still passengers on cruises, even though cruising has been on pause for quite a while now. Well, certain cruises were off in far-off destinations around the world and different guidelines and things like that, depending on when their cruise started. There's people still out cruising and trying to get back to different ports of call that will accept them. So it's going to be a difficult situation. Now, keep in mind, some cruise lines had voluntarily done a suspension for 30 days and other cruise lines did it even longer. Now, what does this mean for cruising? In a recent interview by Axios, Carnival Corporation's CEO, Arnold Donald, said, "We hope this thing is not going to last forever. We have to plan as if it's going to last all year. Cruises will ultimately be even better than what they were before, and people love cruising. Even up until the day we paused, people wanted to cruise." Now you may be wondering, how can these cruise lines survive? This is definitely a tumultuous time and very, very challenging indeed. But recent news with the stocks are promising. Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund now owns more than 8% of Carnival. This investment equals to over $500 million. Also, Harry Curtis of Instinet on Tuesday said the three publicly traded companies, Carnival Corporation, Royal Caribbean Cruises Limited, and Norwegian Cruise Lines Holdings, had enough liquidity and borrowing capacity to survive with near zero revenue well into the first quarter of 2021. Along with analysis at UBS say booking volume for 2021 has gone up 9% in the last 30 days, which is really promising versus the same time last year, despite that many cruise ships are on quarantine amid the coronavirus pandemic. You may also see other places in the world that cruising will resume earlier or even later, depending on their government restrictions. They don't have to follow the CDC guidelines as it is a United States regulation. I'm sure in the next few days, we will hear cruise lines having a response to this on how they want to keep the public health and their crew and passengers' safety is top of mind. So they're probably going to come out with some responses to the CDC's new guidelines. Now let's keep the conversation going in the comment section below on your thoughts on this. We can even keep the conversation going even further in our Friday night weekly live streams. I go live every Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, so join me as we can talk about this conversation even further. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Well, friends, that does it for now, and until next time, ciao for now.